and its management educating India?
So, a very good afternoon to the esteemed dignitaries, organizers, and the participants. My topic for today's presentation is e-waste and its management, educating India. Now, you all would agree with me that a world devoid of technology or devoid of electrical and electronic equipments is you cannot imagine a world like that, right? So especially after the COVID pandemic, the humankind has gravely, or humankind relies heavily on electronic and electrical equipments. And since the use of such equipments and gadgets have started rising, or since human beings have started relying heavily on electronic gadgets, the generation of e-waste is also increasing by the day. Now, electronic waste, or popularly known as e-waste, is a branch of waste production, which is a result of technological revolution, which is a byproduct of industrialization, urbanization, and globalization. Also, widespread consumerism and technological upgradation from time to time, where when newer technologies come in, people tend to replace older technologies with newer ones. Okay, so as a result, it contributes to the piling up of e-waste through obsolescence. And like I said, like Dr. Koteshwar Babu sir has rightly mentioned, waste disposal is one of the major concerns that our society is facing today. And e-waste being non-degradable gets piled up in landfills, and it puts our environment at stake, bringing down positive environmental performance. Now, the aim and objective of this study was to give an insight into the concept of e-waste and its generation in India, the overall effect on biodiversity and ecosystem, to analyze the environmental legislative framework in India that deal with electronic waste, and to suggest methods of betterment. Now, the methodology used here is primarily analytical, which includes legal, library, and internet-based research, focusing mainly on primary and secondary sources. Now, what is e-waste? E-waste is any electronic equipment that has come to its expiry date, or that has become non-usable for its specific intended purpose, or which has become obsolete, or the products that we discard from industries and our households, or which has come to an end of its life. So all these can be brought under the ambit of e-waste. Then the industries, for that matter, they for the purpose of increasing the efficiency of their work and workforce, often replace older technology with newer technology, and e-waste gets piled up again. Now, looking at e-waste from a global perspective, if it is systematically collected and stored or disposed of and recycled, then it may not prove to be hazardous or harmful. But if the recycling methods administered are hazardous or outdated or crude or antediluvian, then e-waste may prove to be fatal to environment. Now, according to UN's Global E-Waste Monitor 2020, it was recorded that 53.6 million metric tons of electronic waste was generated worldwide only in 2019, which actually went up by 21% in just 5 years. A newer report also suggests that discarded e-waste, products with batteries or plugs, will rise up to 74 metric ton by 2030, which makes e-waste the world's fastest growing domestic waste stream. Now, what all consists of e-waste? E-waste typically consists of metals, plastics, cathode ray tubes, printed circuit boards, cables, and the like. Also, It consists of valuable metals like copper, silver, gold, and platinum. These are metals which actually can be recovered if e-waste is processed scientifically. Now, given in the red bracket are certain substances which are discharged if e-waste is deconstructed through a very crude or primitive procedure. So these may prove vital, these may prove fatal to the environment, and it may put life under imminent danger, posing a huge risk to human beings, animals, and our surroundings. Taking the figures globally, only in 2019, only 17.4% of e-waste was collected and recycled. This goes on to mean that metals like gold, silver, copper, platinum, and other metals of higher value were not recovered, and it was mostly dumped rather than being collected for treatment and reuse. Now, e-waste, for the general understanding of a common man, can be divided into three types: type 1, 2, and 3. Type 1 consists of all the bigger electronic gadgets like refrigerators, washing machines, dryers. Type 2 consists of smaller electronic gadgets like vacuum cleaners, irons, blenders, fryers, etc. And type 3 consists of laptops, personal computers, mobile phones, etc., which are used for personal, interpersonal, and social networking. All other consumer electronics like lighting services, electronic tools, toys, and leisure, etc., are also considered to be peripherals to e-waste. Now, taking the consideration or taking the situation in India alone, India ranks 180 amongst 180 countries, which means that we secure the last place on the Environmental Performance Index. Now, India also is the third largest producer of e-waste after China and USA. Now, more than 95% of e-waste in India is handled by unorganized sector. And among the top 10 cities, Mumbai ranks the first, followed by Delhi, Bangalore, and Chennai. Now, there are certain disabilities faced by our country in managing e-waste. The first one is inadequacy, or we don't have proper modes of record keeping for accounting e-waste that is generated, especially by the industrial participants. We also do not have appropriate inventory checks. Inventory checks is done by checking the existing inventory with the inventory which is in the warehouse. So they actually don't have a proper inventory check conducted. Also, another disability arising is the informal cycling conducted in unhealthy conditions. We do have a lot of rules and regulations, but we don't have a foolproof binding legislation to handle matters regarding e-waste. Also, there is poor to no awareness about e-waste management mechanisms among common public. Then moving on to environmental impact resulting from e-waste. See, like I mentioned earlier, electronic goods, since they are non-biodegradable, the production and disposal of such equipments become heavy for disposal. And when it gets accumulated in the environment, it takes over the water, soil, and air, making it hazardous for living organisms. Now, increased generation of electronic goods may also increase the carbon footprint, which may lead to man-made global warming and climate change. Also, use of unhealthy or improper handling of e-waste techniques, e-waste management techniques may result in loss of scarce and valuable raw materials. E-waste may also result in air pollution and severe damage to respiratory health. It may also affect human health by chronic life-threatening diseases like cancer. Then it also leads to land pollution and groundwater pollution. These are some human health impacts that arise out of e-waste. Some of them are deteriorating reproductive health, retardation in growth, damaged lymphocytes, skin cancer, anemia, tumors, etc. Now, legislative measures to tackle e-waste management. All the steps towards management of e-waste is taken by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India. They take up initiatives, they take up steps to formulate policies, planning, and they also promote and coordinate environmental programs, which also includes the issue of electronic waste management. We have the Environment and Forest Hazardous Waste Management and Handling Rules 2008, which spells out the regulations regarding e-waste and its management. Also, the restriction of hazardous substances in electrical and electronic equipments, ROHS, was made effective in 2014. This particular provision aims at reducing the use of hazardous substances in the production and manufacture of electrical and electronic equipments. We also have E-Waste Management and Handling Rules 2010 under the Environment Protection Act 1986, which addresses concerns like safe and environment-friendly handling, transporting, storing, recycling of e-waste, and also to reduce the use of hazardous substances during manufacturing of electrical and electronic equipments. We also have guidelines released by the Central Pollution Control Board of India in 2008, which spells out methods for environmentally sound management of e-waste. Then another major provision that is followed is the e-waste management and handling rules of 2011, which came into effect in the year 2016. Now, the main aim of e-waste management rules of 2016 is to bring down illegal recycling and recovery operations, to create environmentally safe recycling techniques by channelizing e-waste to registered e-waste recycling hubs, and focusing on bringing about extended producer liability. There are certain demerits as well with regard to waste management rules 2016. That is, when e-waste management rules aim at shifting recycling of waste from formal sectors to formal organized sectors to informal sectors, these rules does not or do not address the issue of workers belonging to the informal sectors and how they should be rehabilitated. Many of the persons who belong to the informal sectors find a living out of disposing of electronic waste. Now, there is also failure in addressing the issue of lack of awareness relating to the hazards of improper and crude waste disposal mechanisms. The rules also does not provide for a streamlined method of e-waste collection mechanism. No express restrictions are put on unorganized and unethical e-waste management systems. These are carried out within the country, and as a result of a lack of restriction on unorganized sector, open places, public places often becomes dump yards. Now, in India, what we require is the basic standard of care. While administering laws and rules, we also have to maintain the basic standard of care as per the e-waste management rules of 2016. Then moving towards betterment, as we have mentioned in 2016, rules of 2016, the basic aim should be minimizing illegal recycling and recovery operations, adoption of environmentally safe and sound recycling mechanisms, and formulation of proper channelization system to collect and take back of e-waste to registered dismantlers or recyclers, and also imposing penalty in case of failure in keeping up with such responsibilities from the part of the producers. Then another step that can be taken is by holding urban local self-governments responsible for orphaned products and for e-waste that is mixed up with municipal solid wastes.
Ms. Neeti,
also, yes, sir.
Your time
yes,
is
sir.
over. Can you please come to the conclusion part?
Okay. So, sir, I'm actually concluding. These are the concluding points.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So, we have to also keep, the government has also should also keep a check on the import of waste from other countries, and also safe storage of e-waste have to be made. Also, imparting education and awareness among public from school and college levels can also be proven to be effective in educating the mass public regarding e-waste. Schools and colleges should enhance awareness in children regarding hazards resulting from improper disposal of e-waste through incorporating lessons in their course curriculum. Now, certain informative materials like short films on e-waste and issues concerning thereto, audiovisual educational guides, posters, and pamphlets portraying the importance of proper disposal of e-waste should be disseminated among students. And also, by providing safety guidelines and training, children should be encouraged to create products and working models from e-waste, which can be appreciated and awarded for through conducting competitions and exhibitions. Now, finally, at the grassroots level, local self-governments can play an important role. From both rural and urban areas, they can conduct campaigns and awareness programs regarding e-waste management. They should encourage community participation in collecting, storing, and taking away of e-waste. Then, regular, monitored, and regulated collection drives may be conducted in every neighborhood, and a link should be created by resident welfare associations with registered and organized dismantlers, recyclers, or refurbishers. So in such cases, when the resident welfare associations have direct access with the registered organized dismantlers, they can directly give, or they can directly deposit the e-waste through such organized sector. So these are the few steps that could be taken to improve the status of waste management, e-waste management system in India. So yeah, that is the conclusion to my paper. Thank you.
Yes, Miss, am I audible?
Yes,
Neeti?
yes, sir. Yes,
Oh, yes.
yes,
You have,
yes.
your presentation has got a rhythm, just like our Koteshwara Rao's. Both the presentations are very good.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Anyway, let me make a query. See, you
Yes,
have
sir.
raised a statement that majority of the e-waste is coming from unorganized sector. How can you substantiate that point, Neeti?
No. I'm not saying majority of the e-waste is coming from an unorganized sector. E-waste disposal is done by unorganized sectors.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay, great. Sir, Anjali sir will ask.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
You nicely
Yes, sir.
presented in a
Yes, sir.
effective way. But my
Yes.
doubt is that these are the laws. We have to break the laws or obey the laws. How?
No. Yes.
As much as possible, you say it is practical. Everything we know. What about our mentality?
So that is what I have added in my conclusion. Mainly, information regarding e-waste is not popular among common public. They don't know what are the effects of e-waste or effects of non-disposal of e-waste. I'm pretty sure that all our houses will have a lot of cables, wires, and previously used phones piled up. So in order to bring this situation down, people should be educated, and that is why I have said here in my paper that education should start from childhood itself. We should catch them young. So our generation, I don't think we can bring about much change, but we can definitely bring a change in our upcoming generations.